Peace, everyone. I hope you are very well wherever you may be. Today I am back with another video doing a Lanshan review. This is the 3FUL Lanshan trekking pole tent, the 2-person, and I also have a 1-person plus tent by Lanshan 3FUL. If this video is helpful and assistive, I can follow up with a review of the Lanshan 1 Plus. The reason that I chose to do the Lanshan 2 is because this, for wintertime, has more space inside, and in the winter you have more gear to carry, and I definitely prefer having this tent for that reason. Also, this is a trekking pole tent that you can find on AliExpress or even on Amazon, and they do have sales of this tent throughout the year, and it is the, in my opinion, best bang for the buck tent that you can purchase. And this video will go into detail explaining why that is. So if you are interested in purchasing a backpacking tent that is extremely lightweight, it's made of sil nylon, I'm pretty sure is what this is, and the tent itself it requires 2 trekking poles to set up, and it does come in a couple color options. You need tent stakes. For this one, I think 8. I think I carry extras because I have modified the tent, so I at least use 8 and sometimes 10. It just depends on how it's set up, where I'm located. But the reason I wanted to do this review in the first place is because this tent was surprisingly excellent. I had seen other reviews on this tent, and there are some good ones on YouTube, and I wanted to share not so much the specifications, as which you can go online and check that for yourself. I will provide as much personal disclosure that I can, and also provide as many tips, bonus tips, and modifications that are possible for anybody to implement. So as you can see in the video, I'll sort of narrate what I'm doing, and this is me taking time to try and give a good angle of the camera, good angle, so you can see what's going on. And shout out to the pups that love to be in the camera. So that's Addie. Right now I was just untangling some strings, and the reason I'm doing it like this is because I can talk through this and give you as many tips as possible and mods as possible. So if you're interested in that, maybe even take a couple notes, that you can apply that to your research before you purchase any backpacking tent. There are many other alternatives to backpacking tents. However, some of them are quite expensive, and this tent, the 2-person, cost, I think it was about $160. That was on a sale, and I ordered it off AliExpress, and it took, I think, 30 days or ish to get here, but it was fine. It was excellent. It made it. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I have the 1-person plus from 3FUL Lanshan, and I ordered it just the same, and it came just the same. Excellent. So I can recommend that. Now, these are tent stakes, a couple different sizes that you can buy. You don't have to buy the most expensive tent stakes, and I have another kind that has some holes in them. There you go. and those are like sand stakes, and you can use them accordingly. I've had tent stakes break because the ground was so frozen. It was actually trying to pull the stake back out the next day upon leaving. I do encourage to carry 1 or 2 extras because of that reason. All right. For the Lanshan, I will be going around with this camera in a few minutes, and you'll see the smaller pieces in detail. The guy lines of that which I am pulling out now, I sort of just snugly pull out, not too tight, and get a stake in the ground at each corner. And you'll do that for all 4 sides. And what that will do is provide just enough play. You don't want to pull anything too tight. Just enough play to get those trekking poles up and in on either side of the tent where your doors are. Now, I will go ahead and, full disclosure, tell you this is not a sponsored video or anything. I just am impressed with the 3FUL Lanshan. I've had it in pretty bad weather conditions. Very gusty winds, single digit temperatures, ice, in almost all weather conditions. It hasn't been snowed on, but I'm sure, it handled ice like a champ, so I imagine it would hold snow as well. The gusty nights, I camped on top of a couple mountains, and shaking the tent, even with a rough pitch, it held up just fine. I didn't sleep amazing, to be honest, but that was, that's to be expected some nights when the weather is busy and more chaotic. So here are the trekking poles, and I set mine between 115 and 120 centimeters. You can adjust this accordingly to the weather. There is generally a gap, a small gap, or can be modified slightly to be a little bit higher depending on temperature. That goes around the bottom of the tent, you'll see when everything is set up. This does allow a little airflow to come through, but because the inside tent it's a complete, little house inside, it sort of blocks. You will feel the tent move. Yes, it is. When it's gusty, of course. So here you see the trekking poles going in on either side, and there are hooks on either side of the tent that, well, it's just a little piece of string, if you will, rope, that you just stick the top of your trekking pole in, and it kind of sets in there and fits in there. So again, you see, I'm taking my sweet time to set everything up. You can do this in 10 minutes. For the purpose of the video, I didn't want to skip anything or just be running around. And also, when your dogs steal your tent stakes, I was walking around looking for my tent stake bag. That one of them, I think I know who it was, decided to playfully take from the pile. So now you see I have a stake a pole that's going up, and I have a stake going into the ground that is just giving enough play to hold up that side of the tent, and I will move from that side after I think it falls once or so. I will move from that side to the other side with the other trekking pole and do the exact same thing. And there are some tips here that I will provide, not just in when you go to purchase this tent, as far as what style you might want to look for, because there are multiple styles, and also modifications for the guy lines and setting up a comfortable pitch, setting up a comfortable tent. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There are, again, 8 points to tie down, and I think I added 2. We will go over that just to be sure. That was just for extra strength for the doors. I had set up a separate stake to go in for the doors. I believe you can also, modify this however you would like, which is fun. But I wanted it to be as practical as possible and also simple. So I am getting this other guy line taut, and you will see the tensioners that you slide up and down the guy lines that can tighten the rope, which will provide a better tension overall of the tent. And you will also see that I am pulling a black strap that is connected to the green cover, the top tent, part of the tent. And those have little loops on the end, and again, slide over the tent stakes. And once you do that for all 4 sides, you can tighten them and pull them taut. And you will see shortly that this sort of straightens all the sides of the tent out. Once you do this a couple of times, you get the hang of it. It does not take long. Now you can see I've basically got the tent set up, and I'm grabbing the doors now. And here's my first key bonus. When you go to purchase your Lanshan, they have multiple different models, and these models have different style door openings. So when we go in and look, we will see that these openings have a J style and T style, and I can't recall if there are more than that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to highly suggest and recommend to make sure to get that T door style, unless you prefer another style for some reason. I think there are 1 and 2 J door styles as well. The T door, which is what I'm explaining now, is definitely my favorite style, and you will see why I recommend that in a few moments. And here we are finishing tying out the doors, and that was the extra tent stakes that I was mentioning a minute ago. And you can see the tent sort of opening up real nicely, becoming taut, and the sides straightening out. And this is where you will walk back around maybe one more time and taut up those black straps that are on each corner, and if needed, the side guy lines to pull out a little bit the tent. So with everything set up now, the tent is about ready to go inside. Now you will see I'm pulling these taut, and you'll see how the tent's just very nicely straightens out. There you go. So ideally, something like that is what you would want, and you can adjust this to your preference. The guy line that you see right in front of you on the camera is for your head and feet, and you can also put a stake in for your head and feet, which opens up the inside and gives you a little bit more headroom and foot room. And you can see I'm showing you that I've extended this guy line so I can tie it up to a tree, or just move it, have opportunity to move it if necessary. And you can tighten that. You know, you don't want to tighten it too tight, but definitely pull it so it gives a little bit, it pulls out those sides a little bit and gives that a little bit more space inside. Also, with the Lanshan tents, you can completely remove the inside part. It's just some hooks. It's very easy. And then use just that this green part as a tarp tent, essentially. If you wanted to do that, you don't even need the inside. What you can also do with the Lanshan is just use the inside. If the skies are clear and you know it's not going to rain, you can carry just the inside part. And that's all, whatever you would like to do. Now here, you can see I have stretchy cord. This is just like shot cord that I've attached to every single point, because this adds a very comfortable amount of play and with everything. See how I'm showing that this play here, it's very nice to have when you're tightening up all these guy lines. They don't have any play or, you know, shock to them. So it really helps the just overall flow and fluidity of opening and closing everything, tightening everything up. And I highly recommend that as a modification. You also saw that ram clip. You can go back a few seconds and see that's a metal ram clip. You can get them on Z-Packs. There's other places to get them as well, but I highly recommend going ahead. They cost only a few bucks. Get you a couple ram clips and just change out the OG ram clips that come with the Lanshan. They're plastic. They work, but they will break if they are too tightened too much. So now we are going inside, and here you will see the T-door, which the zipper is actually like right behind the trekking pole right now, but at the bottom horizontally where the black and the white fabric materials meet, there's a zipper that goes out all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So you can see with this T-door design, it is amazing. It opens these doors up all the way. And that is why I got the T-door design. And you will see in a moment, I am actually just rolling up the side door right now. And I have a little extra piece of rope that I put there so that I could easily tie up these side doors. So now you can see the T-door has been open, and this style, by far my favorite style, you see it opens up all the way to the side. So you, again, have the opportunity to completely open up your tent if you will to. And those are the extra strings I added. You know, this is all very simple mods. It took me, 30 minutes to an hour to modify everything. Inside, you see that the two trekking poles, there's actually, I don't know if I showed this on camera, but at the bottom of the trekking pole where it sits in the ground, there is a small piece of shot cord that comes with this as part of the Lanshan manufacturing that you are able to stick the bottom, like loop. There's a loop that loops the bottom into the bottom of the trekking pole, and it sort of holds that middle part of the tent out. And you can see that little line, which if I was really doing this for the night, all I would do was take a couple of the outside corners and just pull them out again, and it would straighten everything out if you were really particular about having that floor flush or whatever. As you can see, I'm inside the tent now, and I'm showing that this guy line that I have hooks up to two hooks that are at the top of the tent that are kind of next to where the handles sit in place. And those hooks are perfect to have a tension line or string that you can hang anything on. Lamp, a light, wet socks, wet clothes, beanies, whatever you can hang can be hung up there. So I just made a small slip knot, or whatever knot you would call that, and made it so the slack was adjustable, so I can loosen and tighten and put things on and off. So I highly recommend these small modifications. They go an extremely long way. They're very cool to implement, And you will be satisfied when you're out in the woods and you have these small little extra mods that help accommodate the process and enjoyment of the experience. That's a small pocket that the tent that it comes with. If you had something small you were worried about losing, put it in there, I suppose. I don't really use it. These are small mesh panels at the top that allow some air circulation and some airflow. And you will see the room in there it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Just going up, show you the space available. I can sit up in the tent completely comfortably. I'm about 5'10". And here you will sort of see the shape of the inside of the tent that I'm just I think I'm untying a string here, but you can see sort of the shape there. So now we go outside. This tent, it says it was seam sealed already, but I went ahead. Again, this takes 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes. And I seam sealed all the seals, all the stitching, and even where I'm pulling right now on that guy line. And it took 30 minutes. It dried over like the course of a day. Don't do it when it's raining. And the next day it was excellent. It cured excellent. And the seam seal is like less than $10, and I highly recommend, just for peace of mind, doing that. So now you'll see I'm setting up, just for example, this is for some extra headspace, right? I'm adding that pulling that guy line, giving it a little tension, and that will pull out the inside of the tent and give you a little bit more headroom. There's one on each side. I do recommend, spending an extra 2 minutes in setting this up, and when you get inside in the evening, it feels nicer than the walls feeling like they're like sinking or dropping, or you get it much less claustrophobic feeling. Now, the T-door again, you will see, or as you can see, it's on both sides, so you can open both of the sides up completely and have just a breeze flowing through in warmer temperatures. So the possibilities and potential, the style is all, to me, A+. I wasn't trying to find too much to complain about. I'm more so going over some modifications you can add that for $160 or $170, you cannot beat this quality, in my opinion. I haven't found another tent that is close to this that can perform like this. I'm closing the doors up now. The zippers work great. I haven't had any issues. The Velcro right there works great. It's very strong. You can see the slack and how, see there, I'm showing that the string pulls up to that ram clip, so you can close off both doors and pull it real taut on one side, and then on the other side where you get in and out of your tent, you can keep one of the side doors off, as you can see, so that you can get in and out easy, and you can still pull that line taut when you're ready to go in for the night. So there you go. That was a assembly video. Hopefully you took those notes. Remember, guys, that T-door style, and then the bonus modifications that I was reviewing. Consider adding those in. Now this is going to show how to easily fold it up and put it back in its bag. If you do this properly, it's pretty easy to get back in its storage bag. And if you just try to fold it up chaotically, it's really difficult to get it in. So this is why I additionally added this clip to show people that if you take a little bit of time and do it somewhat neatly, it will easily fit into the bag comparatively to trying to rush and be chaotic and stuff it in there. So as you can see, I do also have a ground sheet. They sell separate. You definitely don't need it. I like it just for protection of the main tent. And I will also show, I don't know if I showed this in this clip, but on that ground sheet, at the end of the ground sheet, I have added carabiner, small, lightweight carabiner. And each corner of the tent itself hooks in to the carabiner at the corner of the ground sheet. The ground sheet also has tie outs. Okay, so this just further strengthens the tent, and it doesn't slide. Again, the floor doesn't slide around or overlap or fold up on top of itself if you're moving around in there. Okay, see how I'm taking the sides inwardly a little bit as like that and folding it in? You can do this like on either side, fold it in slowly as you roll up the tent, or you can stick to one side, left or right, whichever makes sense in your brain, and just keep folding in on one side and lapping over as you roll, and fold in and lap over like I'm continuing in the video. And this will make it much easier, simpler to fit in its storage bag. So hopefully these tips help out a bit. And if you are interested in purchasing the Lanshan, I highly recommend it. This is not a sponsored video. This is purely out of wanting to assist people in their future purchases. If they have seen this advertised or they've seen videos on this, I wanted to add a piece of my own experience for others. So you can see now I folded it up pretty well. Not the best, but it's definitely, you could see there was order to it, right? So as you can see, I'm getting it around the mouth of the storage bag, and once you get it in there, you kind of just get it out in there, just push it down on in there. It goes in pretty easy. So with that being said, we have pretty much covered the mods that I included. The carabiners, you can additionally order that ground sheet. You can find this on a deal throughout the year, different times of the year. Just keep an eye out. It will go on sale. I recommend the 2-person, especially if you do 4-season camping. This is held up in all weather conditions, and these small modifications that I added to the tent are incredible. And shout out, there was a couple people on YouTube, they helped assemble my own modifications as far as their ideas, so thank you. Hopefully this video helps some people, and please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about the Lanshan. And there you go, it's back in place. Real quickly, I just fold up this tarp. You can really, I like to fold it. Seems to take up a little less space as if you spend a little time to somewhat fold it up. Or I don't know, it just fits better, I suppose. I guess it's not actually less space, right? But it fits better. So I'm just folding it over, rolling it up, and with some closing thoughts. Again, this, for the bang for the buck, is unbeatable in my opinion. The other tents that I've seen, I watched videos on them. I don't have the income to purchase all these different tents, but they don't seem that they're doing too much different than this tent. So it's a matter, again, of preference in this first world of millions of choices. So have yours. Hopefully this was answering all extra questions about the Lanshan that's not already provided on their website or somewhere else on YouTube. And if not, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about it. All right, I won't keep this any longer. We are at the end of the video, so enjoy your adventures, everybody. Again, do recommend this. There's your requirements. I would have my tent stake bag, but my dog borrowed it. Thankfully, she didn't rip it up. Disclaimer, the tent stake bag is fine. It's Addy proof. Oh, did I grab it? I guess I did. All right, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Please take care. Much love. Peace.